Hello, I'm Jared Taylor with American Renaissance. The internet, at least most of it, is trying very hard to make my videos impossible to find. So if you like what you see, I hope you will send the link to a lot of your friends. Elon Musk has bought Twitter, and lefties are terrified because Mr. Musk calls himself a free speech absolutist. Nothing scares the left more than letting everyone talk. The NAACP calls for Musk to keep Trump off Twitter. It says that if he returns, lives are at risk, and so is American democracy. Matthew Rozza, a prominent writer for Salon and other liberal publications, says, if Elon Musk allows Trump back on Twitter, it will be a death blow to the free world. A death blow. A weekly columnist for The Guardian with 500,000 followers says Elon Musk's free speech absolutism is lethal. On MSNBC, Elon Musk's Twitter purchase has sent shockwaves through much of the anti-disinformation political universe. People reminded us that Elon Musk was born in South Africa. BLM star Shaun King says it's about white power. The man was raised in apartheid by a white nationalist. This black lady, who has written for every big magazine you can think of, called Elon Musk an apartheid houseplant. And then there is anti-racism swami Tim Wise. Fuck Elon Musk, apartheid baby. You, your company, and everyone who stands for you. We're going to have to deal with Nazis the way our grandparents did because Elon Musk is going to let them say whatever they want in the name of free speech. Cool. There are other options. Other options. You might expect a former Secretary of Labor to be thoughtful, but Robert Reich says banning people is necessary to protect democracy. He says that with Elon Musk, we would be living a brave new nightmare dominated by the richest and most powerful people in the world who wouldn't be accountable to anyone. What? Who does he think's running social media now? He just wants his billionaires in charge, not Elon Musk. There is no end to this kind of hysteria. So here's my last example. This unknown person wrote that Twitter Inc. sold out to Twitler. Heil Twitler! The graphics are terrible, but the message is clear. You see, Hitler was a free speech absolutist. Conservatives, of course, are pleased. Many people who work for Twitter are not, and that's no surprise. As the New York Post reported, Twitter employees give to Democrats by wide margin. Can you guess the margin? Last year, 99% of their political contributions went to Democrats. 99%. Twitter employs thousands and thousands of censors who control what gets tweeted. Their boss is an Indian-born lawyer named Vijaya Gadde. Here's a headline from Politico about her. Twitter's top lawyer reassures staff, cries during meeting about Musk takeover. Well, of course she cried. That woman, an outright enemy of free speech, had tremendous power. And now she's probably out of a job. It was her department that banned the President of the United States, who had 88 million followers, and that suppressed the 100% authentic story about Hunter Biden's laptop. Her world has turned upside down. The people who run social media and the leftists who love them want to control what you read, what you hear, and ultimately what you do. It's not an exaggeration to say that they want to rule the world. You probably never heard of a study written in 2018 by Google called The Good Censor. It was leaked to Breitbart News, so copies online have the Breitbart stamp. The prestige media ignored it. The report noted that the pioneers of the internet thought they were building a utopia in which everyone could speak freely. The authors reminded us that there was a time, around 2012, when Twitter executives called their company the free speech wing of the free speech party. They were free speech absolutists, until it didn't work out quite the way they wanted. When all people had a chance to speak, some of them said things the Silicon Valley bosses didn't like. The solution was not to debate them, but to call them names and shut them up. As the report noted, The early utopian period of the internet has collapsed under the weight of bad behavior. Bad beliefs have been able to flourish on the internet. Once controversial views have been emboldened by like-minded individuals and are making their way offline, both on the streets and at the polls. Well, what were the awful consequences? The report mentions the rise of nationalist parties in Britain and Germany, and worst of all, the election of Donald Trump. That's why we needed the good censor, to stop these things from happening. That's why, as the report says, tech firms have gradually shifted away from unmediated free speech and towards censorship, from an unmediated marketplace of ideas to well-ordered spaces for safety and civility. Well-ordered means that big tech can gag people it doesn't like. This Google report wasn't supposed to get outside of the company, and it didn't come from Twitter, but it confirms what we already knew. These people are convinced they know best, and they are determined to run the world. Their arrogance and contempt for you are breathtaking. And of course, in their arrogance, all the big tech companies banned me in American Renaissance. Twitter won't even let you send a link to the Amren homepage. And if you send an article, anyone who clicks on the link will get this scary message. I was one of the first Twitter casualties. My wings were clipped on December 18, 2017, after more than 6 years of tweeting and 41,000 followers. This was the last of my 1,679 tweets, noting that Twitter had already stripped me of my blue check mark and predicting that it may kill me off entirely tomorrow. Well, it did. When I appealed the ban, Twitter wrote back to say I was affiliated with a violent extremist group. The good censor just makes it up as he goes along. Twitter left me with a strange, abandoned building of an account with vacant graphics, no followers, and no way to tweet. But since the company is under new management, I sent an official request to get the lights turned back on. I'm now case number 0253, whatever that number is. I guess the company has a lot on its hands. It is so amusing when lefties show their true colors. For years, they've wanted more censorship, always more. They always got more, but it's never enough. And that's why they're howling. They're not worried because it's Elon Musk. It could be Oprah Winfrey, for heaven's sake. The only problem is a buyer who believes in free speech. The worst things Elon Musk ever said are that Canadian truckers rule and that gender pronouns are silly. The word racist doesn't appear once in his very long Wikipedia article. So why are lefties predicting the end of the world? Because their world could end. Because their world requires censorship and can't survive free speech. They saw it during the early years of the internet when we beat the pants off them and they had to ban us to keep from losing. That's like playing in a tournament only after you have kneecapped all the players who can beat you. You'd think they'd be ashamed to play so dirty, but this seems to be second nature to them. Elon Musk is still going to have a fight. I bet some of his employees will try to sabotage the company, but it will survive, and maybe I'll get my account back. Twitter will make the world a better place. One billionaire did it in 2016. Another is doing it now. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this video channel. Also, please give the video a thumbs up. I invite you to visit amren.com, amren.com. You'll find videos, podcasts, articles, a lot of things that I think will interest you. But again, thank you so much for watching.